Hi, thanks for joining us on Just 1A today. I'm talking with Manu Meel, the CEO of BridgeUSA. How's it going, Manu?
Aaron, it's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So to just get right into it with kind of a fun icebreaker, what do you feel is the most crucial element to a sandwich?
Well, I have to answer that icebreaker with a question, which is what do you define as a sandwich? That's the real question, man, is hot dog a sandwich? Because that really determines and opens the floodgates on what is the crucial element. But other than that, you gotta have cheese. Can't have a sandwich without cheese.
Hmm. All right. But wouldn't that kind of invalidate a hot dog as a sandwich then?
I don't think a hot dog is a sandwich,
Oh,
which
okay.
is the real divide that we have to bridge.
Sure. I agree. Yeah. And then just kind of another fun one is if you could fly anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
Does space count?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, if I could fly anywhere in the world, uh, I would want to go fly to the International Space Station because I'm very interested in seeing the Earth from an outside observer perspective.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. And then last question, what was your favorite class in college that wasn't related to your major?
So I was a terrible student. I barely got into college and then I barely got out. So they kind of wanted to keep me there.
Hmm.
My favorite class that had nothing to do with my major was this. I would say it was probably the ceramics and like photography class that I took, that I now know nothing about, but it was pretty interesting. It was easy A, and I needed a lot of easy A's to bump up that GPA.
Sure. Yeah, that's nice. I'm actually taking I think pottery class this semester, just kind of for
Oh
the
yeah,
same reason. Yeah, yeah,
that's awesome. That's
nice.
awesome.
All right. So how would you like, what's your like 45-second spiel about Bridge USA?
So I don't actually have a 45-second spiel about Bridge USA. The way that I think about our work is in three words. Bridge USA is for anybody that's passionate, that wants purpose, and wants a community. I think the problem that we suffer in society right now is that we are losing the ability to talk to each other as regular humans, as people across lines of difference. And we're also losing our communities. We're feeling alienated. We're feeling isolated. Whether you're a young person, old person, whether you go to college or you don't go to college, Bridge USA is really a home for any young person that's interested in realizing a better world, but it's built on a politics of inclusion, a politics focused on conversation, dialogue, engagement. We have college and high school chapters across the country. And importantly, I think right now we exist in a unique moment where American democracy requires all of us to step up. And for us, the best way to step up is Bridge USA. And I think there's young people across the country right now that are sick and tired of how divided our politics is and how polarized our country is. And our job is to give them an opportunity to disrupt that. And that's what Bridge USA is building.
That's very interesting. And why do you, well, I guess you kind of answered this, but why do you feel that the mission of Bridge USA is so important today?
Because if we don't know how to talk to each other, we don't have a country. It's that simple. I think in the history of humans, our ability to communicate, to build coalitions, to understand each other, to empathize, to listen and hear each other's experiences is a central core element to whether you're building a business, whether you're trying to create a marketing agency, whether you're a STEM person, whether you're passionate about politics, whether you care about art. Human connection, human empathy, and human understanding are, I think, at the core of society. And what Bridge's job is to help people develop skills of communication, understanding how to empathize with people that are different than you. Because if we lose sight of the fact that we don't have to hate everybody that holds a different viewpoint than us, then we don't have the ability to construct a society that coexists with people across lines of difference. It's that simple.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Wow. Um, and kind of shifting over, but what do you feel was something that you did really early on with Bridge USA that has really paid off now?
I made my best friends out of this work. I often get asked, Aaron, question, something about what is the secret to Bridge or what keeps you hopeful or what keeps you optimistic. And I was incredibly blessed by the fact that I met some random folks on campus that were also passionate about this work. And we built incredible relationships with each other to the point where I think the core element of Bridge has been individuals that care about this work, that believe in each other, and are ready to stand for each other. Because whether you're building an entrepreneurial endeavor, or you're trying to get a job, or you're trying to get a promotion, people are at the core of any business or any enterprise or any organization or any entity. And if the people suck, then the work is going to suck. And people, I think, are the most sustainable resource on the planet. They empower and power organizations to either go broke or to go great. And for Bridge, I made my best friends out of this work, and that is what's kept me going.
That's really incredible. So you feel it was the people that really made it special?
100%.
Wow.
100%. There's a reason why everything that we do about Bridge, all of our strategic plans, nothing is confidential. And everything is out there. Because I would be willing to bet that the grind, the difficulty, the hardship that it takes to build something is not replicable. I can bet and find someone and give them exactly how we built Bridge, but if they don't have the people behind it ready to execute, then it's very tough to succeed. And you want
Yeah.
to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
Another icebreaker. I still live with my COO. It's been now 6 years, going
Wow.
strong.
That's awesome.
And our ex co-founder lives in that room. So we're still running strong, man.
That's amazing. Wow. Um, and then again, kind of like a pivot, but are there any interesting trends that you've seen with younger people in politics?
I think it depends on the age that you're specifically referring to. Technically, I'm young. I'm 23, so I don't know where that puts me. But I would say that uh, anyone our age is known and lived political memory of the United States. It's very tumultuous. You know, someone like me, I was born around 9/11. I went to middle school around the Great Recession. I went to high school around the 2016 election. And then I graduated college in the year that was 2020, which was the pandemic, the Capitol riots, the Black Lives Matter protests. Not a great sample size of democracy. And I think that what that leads to is two things. One is that many young people, I think, feel very apathetic. They don't really care. I think they find politics this thing that is not worth spending our time doing. And the other half of young people are very engaged, have very strong opinions, and want to change the world. And our job is to figure out how to bridge the divide between the crowd that is apathetic and the crowd that is hyper engaged.
Wow, that's really interesting. Wow, yeah. And then what, if anything, do you feel is not really talked about enough in society today?
The importance of talking to people that are different than you. I think we can solve any challenge, both as a country, as a society, as a global order, if we recognize the goodness in each other and we're able to help each other realize the best in ourselves. Um, any problem that you want to solve, whether you care about climate change or you care about criminal justice issues, or you care about free speech, or you care about faith, or you care about religion, or you care about building a better AI that is more ethical and more engaged, you got to have people to do it. And you have to have people from different ideas, viewpoints, backgrounds. And this notion that we can't reconcile our differences and everybody that's different from us is evil is, I think, not only self-defeating, but it leads us to a place where we're all incredibly isolated. And I think we as people are not meant to be isolated. And we need to reconcile and figure out how to fight back that isolation. And it starts with literally writing down on a piece of paper who are three people in your neighborhood, in your grocery store, folks that you just have never asked, and ask them, what do you care about in life? That is so incredibly powerful.
So it seems like a key pillar of Bridge USA is kind of not even focusing on politics, but really bringing people together, right?
Is bringing people together behind a common purpose. And let me just say this, Aaron, it's not the bringing people together in some kumbaya jerk circle, right? It is about bringing people together, not so that they suddenly agree on everything, but so that they can understand each other. It's not so that they suddenly quell all disagreement, but that they empathize with other people's lived experiences. And if you can humanize people, that is what leads to transformative progress and change.
Yeah, no, that fully makes sense. Wow. And then I just had a question about your website. The first thing that basically pops up when you go on the website is campus politics is toxic. And I was curious what you guys meant by that.
Well, you got people walking right there in your background, and I would
Yeah.
guarantee you my negative net worth that if you went out and asked them a question um, about anything political, they would probably feel very nervous about answering it and walk away. Uh, you can't have a democracy if you don't put opinions out there, if you don't engage, if it's not vibrant. Society is only as good as what people put into it. And right now, we live in a campus environment, I think, and in a high school environment, and just societally in general, where everybody's walking on eggshells. And people are scared to share their opinions. People are nervous. People, as a result, just disengage. They're like, I'm going to go build my website because I care less about this entire, politics hokey pokey thing. Our job is to help people be better actors in our democracy. So again, the toxicity from our politics trickles through universities, through high schools, and in our society. And if you live in a world that requires you to deliberate and people are scared to deliberate, then what do we have to fight for?
You're right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Wow. And then my last question was, if someone was interested in starting something like Bridge USA or just kind of a company or project in general, what would be your best advice for them?
Why? I think the most important question to ask yourself when you're entering or launching any endeavor is why. If you can find your purpose, your passion, if you can understand why it is that you're doing what you want to do, that empowers and liberates you to get through the hardship and to proceed and continue moving forward. I think right now in society, people entrepreneur is like the stockbroker of the 80s. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur sucks. As I joke sometimes, there's only two types of people that become entrepreneurs: masochists or narcissists. And the way that you overcome the difficulties, the way that you build a culture that's rewarding, the way that you hold yourself to a certain principle and a certain set of ideas, and to stay grounded and humbled, is if you understand your why. For me, my why is that I think we lose our society and our democracy if we lose the fundamental ability to communicate with people across lines of difference. That's my why. And so when the going gets tough, I call on that purpose because that energizes me. And importantly, it keeps driving you forward. It gives you a reason to wake up. So why?
That's incredible to think about. Wow.
Everything else
Uh,
falls into place after that. The fact that you emailed me and reached out, I mean, everybody can replicate the grind, but very few people can replicate your why. And replicating and doubling down your why at this moment is especially valuable and important.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Wow. Well, Manu, thank you so much for coming on today. It was really incredible speaking to you. Yeah.
Aaron, I appreciate your questions, and I'm sad that I didn't get to ask you any questions, but thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. And if you're interested in building a new world, if you're interested in being someone that wants to start something of value, then think about Bridge USA, because I think that it is at the cornerstone, the cutting edge of where we are headed as a society and responding to some of the most pressing problems.
Yeah, I truly believe it is too. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.